Good afternoon guys and welcome back to Dave's wedge fitting. We're on the final week here. We are looking at specialist wedges. We are looking at the dreaded 60, which I do have in my hands. Callaway, the Jaws Raw, do the 60 degree in a S grind, which we have gone with everything else. First video of this series guys, if you have missed it, is go back to that. I'll put a link above. It was talking about bounce and grind, often things that people branch over, they miss, they just buy some wedges off the stand. Yeah, they'll do, and then they never get on with them. They last 6 months and then they buy some more. So we've talked through bounce and grind. We've gone with the S grind, most versatile grind for players. You know, that's what Callaway say. I'll put it on screen now. Again, it's for players who might just have a square face. You might open it up very rare. This gives you the ability to do that with the S grind. It's got a mid-sole, so the sole's not too big, so it is for somebody like Dave who is very shallow. Dave keeps telling me off for saying that he's shallow, but again, a shallow angle of attack. He's not taking much divots, so it gives Dave a good contact. If Dave, and we've seen over the weeks, tries a W grind, which is a wide sole, a lot of bounce, doesn't suit Dave. He's bottoming out early, he's catching it thin, catching it fat, and it's not working for him. So in the bunker here, we've got Dave's 56, which we fitted him for last week. We are going to look at the elusive 60, but again, a 60 for me is a specialist club, so the S could mean specialist, but it doesn't. So a specialist club that you might use very rare in the bunkers, in a pot bunker, you know, going up and over something if it's really below. People will use it a lot from the shot just over this bunker. Seen in previous videos with Dave, you can get over there with a 52, for example. You don't need a 64 as many shots as people think. So think about what wedges you've got and don't be a one wedge wizard like James Robinson, who only uses his 60. So we're going to try and prove this, guys. I'm trying to prove it so Dave can save on not buying another wedge.
That'd be good. Mrs. Harrison will be happy.
Yeah, so we're going to go to this short flag here. So we've got around about a 10-yard shot. With this in the bunker, we're going to open it up. We're going to open up a bunker shot anyway. So with Dave, he's got 10 degrees of bounce. With his 56, more than enough bounce. He's got the ability to open it up because it's versatile. And we're going to see if Dave can get this up and out and close to that first flag. So through his normal routine. Again guys, a wedge and a grind isn't just going to fix your short game. You do need a technique to be able to use these. So Dave's going to get a little bit more weight left here. Correctamundo. And that is a fantastic bunker shot right there. So a perfect example. Dave can't jump that high, you can't really see.
Actually, a bit like James Robinson, I nearly got to the top.
At 3'6" there, still can't see over. A fantastic example, a great bunker shot from there from Dave. Opened it up, used the bounce, a nice shallow divot, did everything correct there. So when I just mentioned about having a good technique, Dave has done a great example of that right there.
Teacher, Chris, a good teacher.
Something like that, yeah. So we might not even use this 60 now because Dave's proved the point for me there. He can do that. All we're going to get with a 60, guys, is potentially you're going to have to make more swing and use more speed. And as we know, more speed often means more can go wrong. So if you have got the technique, yeah, you've got less control. If you've got the technique like that and you're able to do that shot, you can see that you don't potentially need this club. If you're somebody who really struggles with your short game, and you like to keep a square face, you can't open it up, you can't commit to that, or you've got no sand in your bunkers, we might look at a different bounce and a different grind. If you're somebody who likes it square but you're steep, we're potentially going to get a W grind in this case, in the Callaway Jaws wedges. In a Vokey, I believe it's a K grind, you might get a big wide sole. And again, this is where for me it's very hard to understand bounce and grind when every different manufacturer calls them different things on the bottom. It's hard to see what they do without reading up on every single wedge, and I will be doing videos on that on the channel over time and showing you obviously what they will do and who they will benefit. But again, you'd have to change that. We can see Dave's got an S grind here, very versatile. It's allowed him in this occasion to open that straight up. So we're going to give Dave, I was going to leave it there because I don't want Dave to let himself down now really.
You don't need to do anymore.
But we're going to go for the further one now. So Dave will just not open it up as much, nice and easy here. It doesn't need to be opened as much. He's going to do the exact same setup, get his weight left, and a little bit of less loft on the club face will get him the distance. Good, so weight left, good. And that's a perfect example. Comes out lower, that has ran out. Oh, the camera actually might be able to see that from how high it is.
Jump again because I'm not embarrassing myself twice in one video.
Dave's not jumping again. But you can see there, that's a perfect example. Dave caught probably 3 or 4 inches behind that, but because he's got the correct bounce, because he's got the correct grind on there, that's gone through this compact sand, he's still got it out of this bunker, which is quite deep, obviously, because Dave can't jump and see over that.
Can stop it.
And it has ran out and done exactly the job it wants. So when you're thinking about a specialist wedge, guys, please do go onto the websites, have a look at the different grinds, the different bounces, relate it to your bunkers. If you've got very limited sand, very compact, you're wanting to probably go a little bit less bounce because you're not wanting it to drop kick and hit the middle of the ball. If you've got a lot of sand, very deep, there's not many places that have too much sand, but on this occasion, if there is somewhere with too much sand, you want a lot of bounce. You want to open that up and you want the club to help you do the work. If you have not enough bounce in that kind of situation, it's going to dig, it's going to be very hard to judge your distances and you're not going to be consistent. But on this occasion, guys, it all comes down to technique. And the reason for doing this and trying to prove this for Dave is going to go into next week's video, which is now we've got 1 less wedge in Dave's bag, which means we've got more room at the top end of the bag, where Mrs. Harrison can buy a different club. We're going to look at, obviously Dave's been struggling with his 6 iron, he's got a 5 hybrid, and I've got hold of a 6 hybrid, so we're going to try and see the loft wise, what difference it does. Does he strike that better, more consistently than his 6 iron, or could he potentially have both in the bag for different occasions? If he needs a higher 6 iron, he could go to a hybrid. If he needs one low and he's playing in the wind in the winter, can he stick with his 6 iron? So that's another area of the bag we've saved on a wedge, so we're not going to have another wedge in the bag for Dave. So he's going to be versatile enough with his 56, but can we get something at the top end of the bag that's going to save him more shots, help him lower his handicap and get closer to single figures? Dave's finished the season on 12, so over the winter we are going through Dave's course management. We're looking at where we can save him shots. We now know that he'll have the correct wedge setup going into next year. We hopefully next week might find another club that might sneak into his golf bag that will help him. And if we do, then Dave might find single figures next year.
You never know.
And Leeds might stay in the Premier League. Slim chance of both. I'm only kidding. Right, so guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Comment below any questions you want to ask about bounce and grind. Comment below with what kind of wedges you are using. But make sure you do your research, make sure you go for fittings. If you are looking for a fitting, I do them here at Waterfront, so if you want to come down for one of those, please do get in touch. I will put my email below. But other than that, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that, and we will see you again next week.
See you soon.